Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Jay, the American expat, or formerly known as. I still consider myself an expat. I think once an expat, always an expat. But today I am on my way to my son's new doctor. What a shock it was. I called maybe 10 doctors, 10 pediatricians trying to get my son set up with somebody, and nobody's taking new patients. They all just said the same thing. Because of COVID, we're not taking new patients. I mean, come on, if kids stop being born, I mean, they're just crazy to me. So, let's say your kid does get sick during these pandemic times. What are you supposed to do? I mean, I guess you have no choice but to go to the emergency room, where if what they're saying in the news is true, then there's all these sick COVID people. I mean, you're going to be putting your kid at risk. I know they're saying that kids don't have as much risk involved with the sickness, which I've been hearing from the very beginning back in China, but still just the same. Kind of a strange thing. So the doctors aren't taking new patients. I would think that would be something they'd be required, like to continue doing their job. But luckily this particular office is taking new patients, and they set us up with an appointment today. Hopefully that doesn't mean like it's some really, really bad doctor, and that's why they're, like, oh, we need patients, because, the reviews online seemed okay. So hopefully it works out well for my son. But yeah, that was kind of a shock. It's still not as bad as what happened in China, when you couldn't even leave your house to go to the doctor, and all the doctors were gone because they were somewhere else trying to deal with the pandemic, or hiding because they were terrified of the pandemic. But yeah, still quite a shock. You can't have a doctor because we're not taking new patients. Or they're asking, like, is your son newborn? After I already told them my son's birthday. I mean, my son is 3 years old, and, giving them a birth date that has the year 2017, and then to have that information followed up by someone asking, is your son a newborn? It's kind of like, no, he's not a newborn. He's 3. I don't know, but I shouldn't be too hard on them. They probably see so many people or get so many calls throughout the day. I'm being nice as far as that's concerned, that maybe they didn't even pay attention to the birth date. But yeah, my son is 3. He's not a newborn, obviously. Charlie, are you a newborn? Oh, no. You see, even Charlie is disgusted at the thought of someone thinking he's a newborn. He's well above and beyond that. And now, well, he's pretty busy playing with his helicopter. I think it was more that he was irritated that it was disturbing his playing with his toy helicopter back there. But, yeah. Is that the same? I'm assuming that's the same everywhere in the country, that doctors' offices are not taking new patients. Quite a shock to me. Well, doctor's visit is done. Apparently my son is healthy. Oh, and he's got a healthy voice too. One thing the doctor said, limit screen time to 1 hour. Sorry if there was a pause there. I don't even know what to say to that with this COVID stuff going on. What has anybody been doing with their kids for, okay, I guess things are a little different here in the United States. I've been able to take them out in the yard, and of course in China, when we're in the countryside, it was easy to just take them outside in the fields. But what about all the other people that are living up in those high-rises, If we'd have been stuck in the city with my son, where we were at before, I don't know what we would have done. How are you supposed to, if you don't have the TV, what do you do? My son would be going nuts in that room. Well, okay, there's, more than one room, but the living room, if I just had him sitting there and just said, nope, you can't watch TV, too bad. It would be a nightmare. Oh, man. time during COVID would be difficult. Fortunately, things are a little bit easier right now, and hopefully they stay that way. If anybody ever watches this that has any sort of influence in the government, please do not lock us down. No more knockdowns, please. The social distancing thing, fine. Masks, fine. Just don't say that I can't leave my house. That, I've been through that enough. Probably even harsher than what they have here in the United States. But yeah, 1 hour of screen time. Well, I guess I'll give it my best shot. My son, during the doctor's visit, was also... He was polite at first when the nurse was there, but after we had to wait for the doctor, boy, then it was all over. You know, he was not in a cooperative mood when that doctor came in. Until the doctor gave him a little toy. Then it was okay, huh? What's wrong? Oh, okay, don't get shot. Yeah, he's dropped something. He thinks that I should be able to grab it even though I'm driving, which of course is not possible. So here in a minute he's probably going to be very angry with me. You know, another thing that I'm very thankful for here in the United States, they haven't shut down the grocery stores. I understand there were some shortages early on. That's kind of what I was hearing while I was in China. But the grocery stores weren't shut down. In China, they literally shut everything down. You couldn't even go to the grocery store in some places. Where we were at in the countryside, boy, these people are terrible drivers. And I thought Chinese drivers were bad. Anyway, they literally shut down the grocery store. There was a period, I can probably, assuming they didn't delete my video off of YouTube, I can put a link to it here so you can check it out. It was really bizarre. To get to the grocery store and buy any groceries, you had to literally sneak into the grocery store. It was like, I don't know how you describe it, a clandestine sort of thing. You had to buy your groceries from the government people, and they were charging exorbitant prices, and they would have to bring it to you and have to buy it from them. And anyway, the people that owned the grocery store in the town, they figured out, well, they paid somebody off. I'm pretty sure that's what they did. So they knew the routine of the people that were patrolling the streets from the town government, and when they went on break, they would, it was, I went in one time, you'd wait outside, and when the time came, everybody would come out from the shadows. The store owners would roll up the door, let everybody in real quick, and put the door back down. Yes? Be careful with that. I hope you didn't spill it everywhere. Anyway, they'd put the door back down, and you'd be inside in the dark. You'd pick out what you wanted. In my case, it was like, okay, you can't get Coca-Cola from these government people. So you get the Coca-Cola and cookies and whatever else it is that you can't normally get, and you pay for it. Then when the time comes and they see the coast is clear, they roll the door open real quick and everybody rushes out and takes off. That was quite an adventure. I guess you didn't have to go through that here. They also had underground markets where people were like, because they shut everything down, nobody was able to make any money. It was a really terrible situation, which that has happened here. So what people would do, the farmers that were trying to sell vegetables to get at least a little bit of money, because, well, even though the thing is shut down, it's not the government giving you stuff for free, you still have to pay for it. So they would get their vegetables, and after nightfall, they would all go to a certain place and they'd be selling vegetables illegally so they could get a little bit of money to get by. I don't know what people have been doing in the United States. When I hear about gyms and all these places, movie theaters being shut down for over half a year, I don't know how you survive that. Most businesses, they don't have an enormous amount of cash just sitting off somewhere, A lot of times they're running on credit, and waiting till the end of the month to pay it off and hopefully get some little bit of profit. I mean, if you're running a restaurant or something, it's definitely that way. Supplies are not cheap. I guess if you're not having to buy supplies, but, you struggle when things are good sometimes, and then to have them shut you down for half a year, and now, who knows, maybe they're looking to shut us down again, and, well, that's not going to work out very well. That's my own opinion. I understand the whole health situation with this COVID virus, but I mean, what are you going to do? How are you going to survive? I mean, the death rate seems to be low enough that I don't know. I just can't see how they can excuse shutting everything down, or why that's a good idea if it really helps at all. It certainly didn't help much in China. People like to think so, but it really was just that one day they just said, okay, that's it, go back to work. And they continue to test, but you don't get the results. It's not, I don't know. And I just heard something, a tweet from Elon Musk where he got tested several times, and some of the tests came back negative, some of them came back positive. And it's like, okay, does this test really work at all? Which one is it? Am I negative? Am I positive? What do we do? Of course, you'd probably end up going with the err on the side of caution. If it comes back positive at all, then you have to do your quarantine or whatever. But I just think about this. How do we trust any of this? It's like we live in a world now where you can't trust anything, whether it's true or not. Oh, man. Let me tell you, nothing can ever prepare you for parenthood. I know this is a little bit off topic all of a sudden, but I have had to pull off the freeway because I got my son some of the strawberry milk stuff, and I knew he was trying to tell me something. I thought he was just tearing the wrapper off the outside of the bottle and, trying to get my attention. So I'm like, yeah, okay. No, he had splashed milk all over the passenger seat, so I am pulling off to try and clean that up before it destroys everything. I have to say, I love being a dad. I love my son to death. But I'll tell you, being a parent, it's very, very hard on property. For example, cars. This is just one example. It's one of the reasons that we have leather seats in the car. This is something to keep in mind for anybody who's thinking about parenthood or who will soon be a parent or anything along those lines. Leather seats in cars is actually a good idea because they're very easy to wipe off. What in the world? There's a long procession of cars with little orange flags on them. I have no idea what that means. It's not a funeral. My son is excited by it. Okay. But yeah, kids are very hard on things like cars. Leather seats wipe off easy. Keep that in mind. But you have to get to it quick because you certainly don't want a bunch of liquid soaking into the leather. I think modern leathers are treated with some kind of plastic stuff so that doesn't really happen. But just the same, I don't think it's a good idea to have strawberry milk soaking into the seats. So I think I found a place to pull off now. Oh my, look at what is this mess? Well, that was fun. I'm sure there's more that I'll have to yet discover. Boy, it seems that my son has made a bigger mess than what I realized. He managed to find these fruit snacks that I also got for him at the same time as this milk. I didn't intend for him to get all of the fruit snacks. Okay. He saw some kind of Paw Patrol fruit snacks, and I'm like, okay, I'll get him and I can give them to him a little at a time. But nah, he got them all out. He got all of them out. So they're all over the back seat. My wife's gonna see this video. Now there's no chance of me like cleaning it up, and saying, oh yeah, everything went smoothly with the ride back from the doctor's office. Now she'll see the video now. I guess I could just not put it in, but it's it's going in the video. She'd know about it anyway. She's like psychic, That's one thing when you have kids. The mother always seems to be psychic. So did Charlie do anything wrong in the car today? Did he ruin the seats by pouring chocolate milk on it or something? I'm like, no, I don't believe you. I know he did. I just know. That's how it works. And yes, he poured strawberry milk, but it didn't ruin the seats. So that part is okay. Some other fun things with these doctor visits. Well, they ask questions like today, I go in, of course in China, I never could understand the questions very well anyway, but here it's like, so in your household, how would you rate the amount of stress? And, I want to say to the doctor, well, that depends. Did my son just jump on the laptop, or is it a typical day? Which that happened, by the way. My son was sitting on the bed with my wife, and the laptop is there, one of the laptops, and he jumps and lands right on the screen and the whole thing, and it seems to be just fine. I mean, it's not the kind of thing you want to have break. I don't think MacBooks are not very cheap to repair. My wife asked me, she keeps trying to confirm, like, it's not broken, right? It didn't break at all? No, it's fine. Fortunately, he landed, my son, he doesn't have much respect for how expensive a thing is. It just, that's how kids are. I guess at 3 years old, you don't really care. Yeah, some of the other expensive things that my son likes to get a hold of are the cameras. He loves cameras, boy. Excuse me. We've got a Sony Alpha camera that I like to use from time to time. I like to take pictures with it. I'm not really much of a photographer, but boy, when he gets a hold of it, he knows what he's supposed to do with it. He can take photos with it, which is quite impressive, really, for a 3-year-old. I mean, yeah, it's not very hard to click the button, but he knows what he's doing. He gets that thing, he looks through the viewfinder, and he gets it to focus, and then he clicks the picture off. The problem is that if, you don't want him to play with the camera because you're afraid he's going to drop it on something, well, he doesn't like that, and he takes offense to such things, and his response to it is to throw whatever it is that you're trying to take away from him. If it's an Xbox controller or whatever, or a really expensive camera, he's just going to toss it. So you have to be very careful and sensitive about how you're approaching a situation like that. Because kids really don't care. I mean, they do once they get in trouble. Then, of course, and he's the same way. He knows once he's done it that, I shouldn't have done that. But then his response to that is to just run away laughing and, or run to mom and start grabbing onto her and giving her hugs as though if I'm nice enough, then I won't be in trouble. It's kind of amusing, really. But, and it works. If he just acts cute enough, then he can get out of anything. Even if he just destroyed, a $2,000 camera. Well, that's probably all I've got time for today. I'm afraid it's going to be a long video or something. I'll have to cut some things out. But, as always, like, share, especially share. Share this with everybody you can. I need more people watching my videos. I'm just kidding. No, share it if you liked it. But, like, share, subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.